Have you ever tried to grab one shovel and you ended up knocking over half of the tools in your shed? You reach for the rake, the broom falls over. You grab the broom, now the shovel's on the floor. It's a classic game of pick-up sticks just to get the one tool that you came in for. Well, today, I am fixing this corner for good. But first, some advice that just might step on a few toes. Most people fix this in one of two ways. You either lean everything into a corner or you hang up everything in the same way. And I think both are missing the point because the real mistake is treating every tool like it deserves the same spot. But in a small shed, some space is premium real estate. And if you hand it the wrong tool, you are wasting the best storage in the building. So here's a system that I use to decide what earns it. It comes down to two types: premium real estate and protected real estate. This is my version of my premium real estate. These are going to be the things that I grab and go with the most, right? The idea is not that we're storing more. The idea is that we're increasing access. So one of the criteria I think for premium real estate is, one, how does it earn its spot? But two, I want to be able to reach for it without any issue. I want to be able to grab any single tool and be able to grab it, take it off without having to adjust anything else, if you will. Well, how's that for demonstration, right? I want to be able to get to things without having to kind of take off something else. Now, everything here has, again, a very specific space. And I want to talk just a little bit about how you actually make these. This is honestly pretty simple. So let me show you over here. All right, so I already got my tools that I'm going to be storing there. But really all you're going to do is grab a normal, like this is a 2x6 that is the same distance from the outer edge of the stud to the outer edge on the other side. All you're going to do is, once you get it up here, you don't even have to worry about getting a tape measure. Line it up here, mark your inner distance, right? That becomes this cutout. And as far as going back, just put it in there at an angle, hold it back, and then mark that line. You're then going to connect those two. That will give you your actual cutout, allowing you to place this in between. Now, I'm having a little bit of challenge, but mine goes, okay, there we go, just like that. Now, I will actually auger these out just a little bit. My screws go in, that's what's going to actually fasten this up. The other thing to consider is, as you're looking at these, that's all really going to be determined by what you're storing. In my particular case, though, I want the distance. Now, can you see that on the camera? Where there's this tiny little lip here and here. That is what has to support right there. So see how that sits in there pretty nice? I'm hoping you can see that okay. And I would do that with just all of the tools. It goes up. Let me go ahead and get this installed really quick. Now, when it comes to the long tools, there was the premium real estate. This is more of what I'm considering protected real estate. All of these tools, if they were to fall off the wall, they'd hit the ground, there'd be no damage to them. So I like the idea of having a protected, if you will, real estate for these. Now, this is my steel combi system, and it is the weed whacker with all the different attachments. These have all the blades, the things that people who come in who might not be as careful, right? The blade to the chip, to the chainsaw, the extension chainsaw stores here. And one thing for you to consider is that not everything has to be stored vertical. These are stored horizontal. There's a couple things I want to consider here. One is, when you're storing them horizontal, notice where I'm storing them horizontal. In my previous video, we talked about storing air. Underneath my bench, I am really good at storing air. So that is one thing I wanted to get away from, is that. So I built this system on the underside. I also want you to see here where there is one angled up, another one down. If you have one like this that's really heavy on one side, that's constantly going to tip, well, you could do one supporting here on the bottom and then one supporting here on the top for support. And as you can see here, one facing up, one facing down. That's exactly what I did to develop this system. So that goes there and that goes there. I've had zero issues with it. It has been absolutely fantastic. Now, again, same thing here, but this one, both are pointing up and it works really good. And again, this one, same as before, one pointing up, one pointing down to kind of keep it from an off balance. Now, another trade-off that you need to consider if you're going to be doing this is once I do this, the ability of taking another item like a taller item and putting it in front of it now goes away, unless you're willing to move it out, committing to having an extra step, if you will. In this case, I've got it like this and I keep this open. I partially do that for a few reasons. One, this is where I will sit on my taller chair. My knees need to have that extra room down there. So for me, it was having this low profile and then having this vacant space just worked because this is where I do some of my drawing and drafting. All right, so growing up on a farm in Minnesota, I will tell you this. There were two truths when it came to long tool storage. One is just put it in the corner, and that was good, right? But we now know that that's a pretty inefficient way of doing it. I will say that the second truth that I think I really am trying to dispel is that you treat every single one of your long tools the same. It's just not true. I would say that there's those that go up in the premium real estate space, and then there's also those that are more protected. Again, not all your long tools are created equal. So I do know that you guys have some amazing stuff to share. So here's what I love. If you have a tip for long tool storage that looks different like this, let me know. I know some of you probably say, well, I use this attachment, right? You can see I use a tremendous variety of attachment points and hooks, right? That I think is real personalized. You guys can kind of iron through that yourself. But if you've got some advice you want to give, I would love to hear it. At this point, I want you to know I read through every single comment and I love them. So I want to say thank you to that. And if you're watching the channel and you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and do so. I just crossed a big milestone of crossing 5,000 subscribers. So pretty excited about that. Shoot dang. See you guys on the next one.